you wrote this book specifically about how Darwinian evolution impacts society. Do you think that your background there was able to give you a deeper insight into that fact?
Oh, yeah, because the biological area, specifically Darwinism in this case, does affect how you believe things like abortion. And it may surprise people to know, but when the U.S. Supreme Court ruled on abortion, it basically utilized an idea developed by Ernst Haeckel called ontogeny, recapitulates, phylogeny, which basically says in the womb we literally go through our evolutionary stages. So we start out in the early stage as a goo, and then we end up a fish, and then we go through the stages of evolution that we supposedly went through and were evolving a long time ago. And they convinced, to some degree, I think probably highly convinced, the U.S. Supreme Court that indeed when abortion occurred, we were at that stage fish. And therefore, you're not aborting a human, you're aborting a fish.
Wow.
And that was widely accepted for many years.
I have never heard that before. That's incredible. You know, what's interesting to me about that is that just last year, and I teach at a Christian high school, I had a student bring to me their AP Bio textbook, and they showed me in the textbook where it has a human embryo, and it has arrows pointing to the folds in the neck of the embryo, and it says gill slits. And it's unbelievable to me. This was debunked, wasn't this? In the 1800s, I believe. Wasn't that the case?
Oh, yeah. It was debunked a century ago. But recently it came to the attention of the public because Dr. Richardson did a study where he photographed actually what those embryos looked like at the stages that Haeckel had drawings for them. And he showed that Haeckel's drawings were way, way off base. It's not just exaggeration, but he drew pictures that were so wrong that you would know there's something wrong, and they call this a forgery. And so now that's widely known. In fact, many of the textbooks, not all, but many of the textbooks have taken out this ontogeny, recapitulates, phylogeny of Ernst Haeckel of the book. And therefore, it's more widely recognized that that's not a good argument. I think if the abortion case came before the Supreme Court again, I have a strong feeling that indeed they would rule the opposite that they ruled 25, 30 years ago. And therefore, abortion would have a much more difficult time getting through because we have more science. We have sonograms, for example, and you can see at those certain stages, you can see what the baby looks like. And that has revolutionized our whole view of life in the embryo. And today, if it was before the Supreme Court, I have a feeling, as many people are very, very worried about, the leftists are very worried that indeed it would be overturned, and I think there's a good chance it would be overturned, or at least part of the abortion law would be overturned, so that states could outlaw abortion or discourage it in some way if they wanted to.
So as we become more scientifically literate, we gravitate towards the biblical worldview.
Yeah, that's true.